This week, today's homeowner is taking on a kitchen that's too modern. Find out why these homeowners want a retro renovation and see how we make what's new old again next.
Ironically, this house is owned by a couple named Tom and Sue Lyon. I guess this makes it easy for people to know exactly which house is theirs. Now, this home is a beautiful home that was built back in 1922, and Tom and Sue have done a great job restoring and decorating it to fit that period, with the exception of one room.
Welcome to the dream kitchen of the 1950s. We've enjoyed it very much, but we think it's time to update.
Well, one of the cool things about it is the old coffee pot makers has the old two-prong plugs that still work. These actually, I think power still goes to these things, and they're retractable, kinda. So.
And let me show you our beautiful sink and countertop all in one. Originally, it had even gone over to the stove, and it was a push-button electric stove controlled by all of these wonderful buttons there.
And the one thing about this is you have water and electricity and all metal together. I think it might be a little bit of a safety hazard. All metal cabinets, and the cool thing about the cabinets though is you can put pictures up there, not just refrigeration magnets, but the thing about them, they're very solid. And a lot of the newer cabinets that you buy, at least at some of the stores, are made of particle board, and we didn't want to go with that. We wanted something that was solid. That's why we kept these for so long. We've lived in this house for 17 years now.
What we envision here is turning this into a utility room. We're going to take our stainless steel counter and sink and install over here. We still have a hot and cold water connection, so that shouldn't be any trouble. And they're going to build us a wall here. We can keep the tools in there and have the dog bed.
One of the cool things about the walls, we're putting a pocket door in, which is something I've always wanted. No matter what, we're putting a pocket door in. So it was actually Sue's idea to do it. But the ceiling, we're going to put in recessed lighting. We want to keep the ceiling fan, but put recessed lighting here. This is a very dark room. One thing we're concerned about with the black countertops, and we're going with hardwood floors, is that if we went with the stain cabinets, it'd make the room too dark. We didn't want to go too dark with it, so we decided to go with the white.
We want to keep our hardwood floor, which we have throughout the house, bring it back into the kitchen. We're not sure what the condition of the hardwood under this vinyl can be. So when we discover that, we'll find out if we need to replace or repair.
We had to live here now without a kitchen for at least 6 to 8 weeks, and we've already tried to figure out how we're going to eat during that time.
Well, I work in an elementary school, so I think I'll be bringing home school lunches to serve them for supper. That may be the challenge to our marriage.
So we'll see.
At any rate, it's time for the challenge to begin. The first step is the removal of the appliances, then it's on to those bulletproof steel cabinets that Tom is so fond of. Removing the cabinets in a house of this age often means destroying them, since most are built right in place. Fortunately, with these metal cabinets, that's not a problem. They're just a little cumbersome to get out the door. The existing trim has to come down before we dig into the walls, but since we'll have to recreate this style with the new trim, the guys pay careful attention to the way it's constructed. Some of the walls are paneled, which speeds things up a little bit, and the fur downs added back in the 50s were drywalled, so the mess is relatively minor. The new layout requires very little framing. A new wall with a pocket door to separate the utility room from the rest of the kitchen, and the relocation of a beam into the attic space to keep the ceiling flat and open. Once the plumbing and electrical changes are complete, we can cover up the old studs again with fresh new drywall so the finishing process can begin.
All right, Mark, we got it ready for you here.
Looks great.
I'll turn you loose on the drywall finishing, and one of the things that we hope we would find once we remove several layers of vinyl is hardwood floor. And Tom and Sue really hope that we'll be able to completely refinish the floor and it can be their finished floor. Now, I've seen some hardwood floors look pretty bad that really turn out looking great once it's refinished. We hope that's the case here, but there's a lot of removal that has to be done, and it sometimes just isn't very cost effective effective in order to refinish the floors, so we'll just have to see how that turns out. Now you can see we've already removed the material off the top of this floor, and still a lot of work has to be done, but with the right type of refinishing, it can look as good as the existing floor, even though the size of the wood's a little bit different. Still, there's no better way, particularly in an older house like this, to tie the old with the newly remodeled area, and by having the same type of flooring continue right on through. So we'll have to see how that turns out. But right now, let's check in with Joe and see what he has for us on this week's Simple Solution.
For this simple solution, I had to channel my inner Betty Crocker, which, believe me, it's as frightening for me to say as it is for you to hear. But often, you need to mix liquids in the home or the workshop or the yard, but you don't want to use the good kitchenware. For example, if you're mixing bleach with water or plant fertilizer. So the tip is to use a recycled milk jug. In this case, it's a 1-gallon jug, and I poured in water 2 cups at a time. Then each time I poured in 2 cups, I just marked it. All right, so you can see it's marked up to 10 cups. And then you just add the amount of water you need, in this case 6 cups, snap on the lid, mix it up, then you're ready to go. You can apply it directly from there. Now, this works great if you're using larger volumes, but if you want even more precise measurements, get a disposable plastic cup and just mark the dimensions that you need.
This week we're renovating Tom and Sue Lyons' kitchen to give it a character more suited to a 1922 era home. The old 50s kitchen is gone and we've started over from scratch. Now it's time for the new cabinets that will give the kitchen more of an old feel. These were custom built for this kitchen, but the design very, very simple, just like it would have been back in 1922. Clean lines with flat panel doors, a crisp white finish, and striking hardware. This massive wall unit will provide tons of storage, but the installation requires quite a bit of thought since it has to line up with the adjacent cabinet, the window, and the exhaust vent for the stove. As soon as the cabinets are in place, the trim can start going in.
12 3/8.
This is where you can clinch the historic character or completely lose it all. We're matching the stuff we took out, so there's no question it fits the period. It means a little more work because the old design requires multiple pieces for every casing, but that effort will be worthwhile once the kitchen is complete. Tying together old trim and new trim's always a challenge on these older houses, and the real secret is to make sure the paint job covers up any of the differences, and that's what Michael's in the process of now, is putting caulk on and also spackling all of the nail holes so that it can dry and he can get to his first coat of paint now that it's already primed. But Joe's doing a little something else here. Now Joe, why a column in the middle of a remodeled kitchen like this?
We had an old pipe in the wall, and the homeowner just did not want to relocate it. We decided to box around it.
Well, now you could have done it with drywall. Could have brought out and drywalled around it a little bit and everything. What was the motivation behind the column?
We made this column to match another column in the front part of the house. It's just the same detail, and the customer just requested us to match it.
Now, how did you enjoy kind of tying in the old and the new trim here? It looks like you've done a pretty good job on it.
Well, it's coming out, but it's always very challenging.
Don't worry about it. Michael can make it all look good for you. Don't worry about it.
I know he can.
Hey, it's Friday on this project, and it's something that we always like to make sure that the homeowners have plenty to look at over the weekend. I think Tom and Sue will be very happy since all of the cabinets are in, and the granite that they selected, which is not an easy thing to select because there's so many different types of granite, is now being installed. And this is a kind of a popular granite, a perfect contrast when you have white cabinets. It's actually called Uba Tuba. I don't know who names these things, but it I guess somehow works out pretty well. But they'll be able to install that section and then work their way right around, and before they leave here today, it will be completely finished and will really give it a finished look to this kitchen. Because most of the fabrication is done in the shop, the actual installation of granite goes quickly, especially since this layout only calls for 3 pieces of granite. They simply glue each piece in place and seam it to the adjoining pieces with epoxy. It also looks like our Friday philosophy is working because Sue drops by on her lunch break and she's thrilled with the progress.
My new dream kitchen.
That's right.
Oh, this is perfect.
The next week starts with painting, followed quickly by flooring. We're putting down a vapor barrier because instead of trying to rehab the old wood with decades of crud on it, Tom and Sue have opted for a new pre-finished hardwood that matches the rest of the floors in the house pretty closely. This installation will get them back into their kitchen quicker than days and days of stripping, sanding, and refinishing. And besides looking great, the factory applied finish on this new floor will hold up better to spills and stains that are an everyday part of life for any kitchen floor. Our flooring installers are almost complete with the hardwood floor. A little work on the thresholds over here and a little bit of stained shoe molding here, and this part of the floor will be complete. The hardwood floor turned out great. Now, you may think they ran out of flooring over here, but actually Tom and Sue decided they needed something even more durable than the pre-finished hardwood. So they decided to have ceramic installed here, and the guys will be back this afternoon to install ceramic here in the back entryway right on into this small room. And that'll really be important because there's a lot of traffic that comes in this back door, maybe a little bit of dirt they're bringing in with them. It's hard to beat ceramic. But if you want it to hold up the way it's intended to, you have to install it the right way. On a wood subfloor like this, that means putting down a layer of cement backer board before installing the tile. The backer board, like the tile itself, is more dimensionally stable than the wood subfloor, so it won't expand and contract with changes in humidity. The adhesive bond that holds the tiles in place is stronger because the surface it's glued to isn't continually moving like wood might. Now, while these guys keep plugging away on Tom and Sue's floor, why don't you check out this week's best new product?
You know, owning a pressure washer is almost a must if you do a lot of outdoor cleaning like your deck, your patio, or even your driveway. But how do you convert your normal pressure washer into a super pressure washer? By adding this attachment right here. This is called the Easy Clean, and it attaches to just about every quick release wand out there on the market today for pressure washers. Doesn't matter if it's electric or gas, you can simply attach this and take a look here on the bottom. Now you've got one head that's been converted into two. Now this will spin, and it spins at about 1,500 RPMs, and it also can deliver up to 3,300 PSI depending upon your pressure washer. So all you got to do is pop this bad boy on, and no more streaks where you've just got that single one. Now you're going to get a nice clean surface all the way through. This is great for large surface areas, and it's really not that expensive, so well worth the money. You can clean it in half the time.
Our project this week, creating a 21st century kitchen with character worthy of this beautiful 1922 home. And like all projects, this one required a few changes and compromises along the way, so we took the old kitchen back down to the stud so we could add modern plumbing and lighting when we put it all back together. The cabinets and trim are new as well, though we hope no one can tell. And we're very close to wrapping this project up. The only missing element is the tile backsplash, but that hasn't stopped Tom and Sue from moving back in and starting to cook.
Good girl.
So I dropped by to see if it was living up to their expectations.
You know, our original plan had been to see what the hardwood floor would look like underneath the old vinyl, and we were thinking that we might just have that refinished.
Yeah, I wish we could have done that. It had a lot of gouges in it, and so many times when you have vinyl floors glued down to the top of a hardwood floor, a lot of times that glue will soak down into the pores, and it's pretty hard to get it completely out of the way. But hey, this worked out pretty well.
Oh yeah, we're really pleased with it. It's a perfect match, and I just really love the look and the feel of the hardwood.
You know, a lot of times homeowners will think about remodeling their kitchen for a long, long time, a lot of years. I know you kind of were that way, thinking about it for a long time. What took so long to get the kitchen remodeled?
Well, we have 6 doors that come into the kitchen, so we had a hard time trying to figure out exactly what our floor plan would be. We had kitchen designer look at it, start taking walls out, and we said, no, let's keep it what we had. So we pretty much kept the same floor plan. We moved the refrigerator to the other side. We made a utility room out of the area over here that was really unusable space at the particular time. So, and we actually were able to reuse some of our
I noticed that. Now, when you started talking about reusing this old stainless steel countertop and old metal cabinets, even though we reuse a lot of stuff, I had my doubts about that, but darn, turned out pretty good in there.
Yeah, well, we talked about getting rid of it. Some people that sounded really interested in, like, what are you gonna do with that old stuff? Maybe I'd like to have it. So we said, no, we can probably use that rather than going to buy a new sink or some new cabinets that were not as sturdy and well made as these were.
Yeah.
So,
and you can use all the space, I'm sure, as far as being able to store things. Of course, you got a lot more cabinetry than you had before, plus that overflow. So not bad. And you guys also used the shutters as well as the doors, huh?
That's right. We just wanted to keep what we could keep.
Yeah.
Our island here works out just fine, and we love those doors for the pantry, and so it turned out fine.
Yeah, keep a little more of the character in the house, and also it blends real well with the floor. But we're almost finished with this. Of course, it's finished enough that you can get in here and start doing some cooking and everything, but backsplash is yet to be done, and you kind of ran into something a lot of homeowners ran into on that, didn't you?
Right, it's been a while for them to create the backsplash that we had chosen, but we're being patient on that, and I know it'll come in soon, and we're looking forward to having it
That back
installed.
ordering on things like that. At least that's not as bad as the sink or dishwasher or something else that would prevent you from being able to create masterpieces like you have right there. Wow.
Well, I've been doing a lot of baking since we got our new appliances, and I just couldn't help myself. Had to bake a pie for you guys. So.
Well, I'll tell you, the backsplash will be in very, very soon. Get that finished up, then we'll take a look at everything else in the kitchen.
Within a few weeks, the back-order tile arrives and the work continues back at Tom and Sue's house to install it. When someone does work inside your home, covering up and protecting the surroundings is always important. But when the surrounding area is a brand new kitchen the owners have waited 17 years for, you better be careful. That underscores the need to hire real professionals when you're getting work done in your home, not just some guy with a pickup truck and a tool belt. While they wrap up the last step in this project, let's talk about heating green. One of the most comfortable, efficient, and greenest ways of heating your home is by using radiant heat. There are panels you can put on walls and in ceilings, but I like radiant floor heating. The type that uses water is really the most effective. They're called hydronic systems, and they pump heated water through tubing underneath the floor. The reason I think radiant floor heat is so comfortable is because heat is evenly distributed across the floor, warming up your feet and body and then the very furniture in the room. Since the floors distribute heat evenly, homeowners can set their thermostat 2 to 4 degrees lower, which leads to reduced energy cost. One more thing I like about it is the fact that it's easy to retrofit a radiant floor into an existing home. So, warmer home, warmer feet, and all by using less energy. That's green. More often than not, kitchen remodels are about updating the space, replacing dated surfaces, materials, and appliances with more modern, stylish alternatives. But Tom and Sue Line had a kitchen that was too modern for their house, at least modern in a weird Jetson sort of way. The new old kitchen we've created for them has all the modern amenities, but now the character fits the house like a glove. The white lacquer cabinets brighten the kitchen with a simple, clean style, while the satin nickel hardware adds just the right touch of elegance. The granite countertops contrast the cabinets nicely, but they do it without calling too much attention to themselves. And that wood floor, although it's brand new, adds yet another note of authenticity to a kitchen that already looks like it's right at home here. Of course, planning is so important anytime you're remodeling your house, but especially when you're taking on a kitchen renovation, the center of family life. Now, Tom and Sue have been thinking about this renovation for 17 years, so they pretty much knew exactly what they wanted. Of course, you have to compromise a little bit along the way, like they had to with the hardwood floor, and you have to have patience, like when you're waiting for the perfect material for the perfect backsplash. I think the wait was well worth it. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this week's show. I'm Danny Lipford, and we'll see you next week here on Today's Homeowner. Next week on Today's Homeowner, we're building an addition to a home in a beautiful waterfront location. But the weather here isn't always beautiful, so it'll have to stand up against the wind.
I'm June Lipford, and welcome to my
Here's a new
kitchen.
dish out of
He was saying that this one lady wrote a song to "Oh Danny Boy." What was it, Alan?